Slappy Hour.
Tonight on the Slappy Hour, we're joined by a man who doesn't blink and certainly doesn't back down. This heavyweight isn't here for flash or fame. He is here to test chins, bend physics, and remind the division what real toughness looks like. A human wall with a granite jaw. A striker who welcomes the hit just so he can return it harder. When this man steps to the podium, somebody's confidence is about to disappear.
Oh, yeah.
The number 5 ranked heavyweight of the world, ladies and gentlemen, the Hawaiian assassin, Pono Pau.
Let's go.
How are we
What's
doing,
up, my
brother?
boys?
We appreciate you joining us.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you having me.
What are you
Good to see you
feeling
guys.
about some of these matchups we're hearing and the new rules?
I mean, like I was thinking it earlier. I was like, man, there's a twist around every corner, you know, like you think it's going that way, and then all of a sudden there's a wrench thrown in, something else is happening. I don't know if I'm a fan of the new, you know, champion rule,
Champ strikes
but
first every
you know,
time.
you don't give an opportunity, especially when you have somebody that's at a, you know, a very dominant position, like, you
Yeah.
know, just in case, Damien DeBell, right?
Yep.
You put him like you actually have some kind of fairness if there's a coin toss. You might win the coin toss, and you might go first. But yeah, when he gets the opportunity to hit you first, that's you know, it's true testament to, do we have a chin? Are we practicing the right things for our defensive techniques? I mean,
No,
that's all
no
you can
more
say
glass
to that.
cannons. No more glass cannons.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
It'll
But
certainly expose people real quick.
yeah. And they've added 5 rounds to the
Yeah.
co-main.
I like that though. That's cool. That one's fun.
That makes sense, you know,
Yeah.
because you, as the sport's progressing, you want to have more entertainment. So,
Yep.
you know, that short 3 rounds, especially if it's like super heavyweight division, you got guys that are just going to kind of just clobber each other the whole entire time.
Yeah.
And it only goes 3 rounds. You really don't get to see what this sport's all really about, right? It's the
Yeah.
virality, the knockouts, and it just doesn't happen that way. So stretch it out for another like couple rounds and see where it goes from there. Sudden death was a good rule in the, you know, when they first announced that from Crazy Hawaiian and the dumpling. So
Yeah.
that made a whole bunch of sense, you know, just having that extra round, see who actually is the winner at the very end. So
Yeah.
I like those parts.
I hope that rule gets pushed to go to like the recorded cards too, because at Power Slap 13, Johnny and me went back and forth for 3 rounds, called a draw, and we didn't get a fourth. I was like, the fuck.
Right,
Like,
right.
they
And
were
that's
talking about how there's a sudden death round, but not for pre-recorded. I was like, that's kind of bullshit.
mm-hmm. And that back and forth battle, that's kind of like what you would hope, right? It's like, hey, let's
Yeah.
get a definitive. Let me crack him one more time, see if I can, you know, test that chin out one more time, and
Exactly.
same for him, you know. So
Well,
kind of
and then
want that
now
to
it's
fall
like
this
we
way.
got to run it back eventually, and we're like, what the hell? Like, he wants to go to light heavyweight like right away, and I want to stay at heavyweight for a while. But like, when are we going to get that chance now?
Right, and like as we start moving forward, you're gonna see a lot of that. You're gonna see a lot of people that, you know, don't hold weight, because
Yeah.
when you're in the heavyweight division, honest, right? Like you could tell somebody this, and they try to get to the part where they, you know, you're at max weight, 250, 260. That's where you got to be coming in at a heavyweight division.
Exactly.
You know, when you are 220 pounds to even at 230, I really believe that there should be a cruiserweight division, something that's right in between, that goes from 206 to 225 or 230.
Yeah,
I
So
like
that way
that.
there's another opportunity for a belt and another division.
And the
I mean,
smaller heavy.
it seems like
Like,
they kind of aimed towards that. I mean, when they put the message out, obviously all the fighters got the email and they were told, you know, this is what's going on. But it almost gave a little bit of space for, like you said, like another division to pop up, or You know, so I feel like down the line that hopefully it may be something that they decide to bring in.
I would
Mhm.
like it.
As a smaller heavyweight, I'm all for that.
Right. Right. It saves you all the stress of trying to put on all that heavy weight, not being as you know, obviously we're not professional nutritionists or anything else like that, right? Unless you're in that field,
Yeah.
you're not that type of person, right? So you don't
Yeah.
understand how when you're putting on
We lost Pono, I think. Oh,
yeah, it paused out because somebody's calling. But you're putting on the weight like that. You want to do it properly, right? You don't want to do it where it's just like, okay, well, let me go hit the cookies and
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be a
Oreos and the
sumo
potato
diet.
chips and the fattiest way you can get up to 250,
Yeah,
260 pounds, right? So you want to
yeah.
put on, and majority of that, because it's turning into an athletic sport,
Yes.
you want to put on solid mass, solid muscle mass.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, and if you can't do that properly and your body is, typically it's used to being at a 220-pound threshold, yeah, then it just makes complete sense to have another division in there that you can represent that part well. I think once that happens, besides all the people trying to go from one weight division to the next weight division, whether it be champions, whatever it may be, at least that specific division between 206 to 266 is where that should happen when you think about a double champ.
yeah.
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 But 60 pounds is a
Some,
lot of weight in one category.
And
of course. Yeah, so I,
and
I I can see a double champion being right there, right? Being in the cruiserweight division and then the heavyweight division and kind of fluctuating between
Yeah.
going back and forth between there. But when you talk about going from a heavyweight division down to the light heavy or light heavy going down to the middleweight and you holding two titles at the same time, it's not visible. That's not what we want. We want to see something that's a little bit closer in range, and the heavyweight
Yeah.
division is where it's at.
yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
I would like to see that. It would open up so many doors for so many people just to go up a little bit or go down. It's big gap we could fill.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Well,
Yeah.
why don't you tell us how you got in the Power Slap, my man? Like, I know you were on Road to the Title Season 3, but how did it come about getting to there?
So my friend, his uncle is Azael.
Okay.
So Azael, well, as we all know, right? He was on the very first season one
Yeah.
road to the title.
Yeah.
Then after his airing on the season, he shortly, probably like within a month or two after, he was on the very first live event, Power Slap 1, went against John Davis. And during that time, my friend called me up and he said, "Hey man, look, my uncle got tickets for us. I'm gonna be in the background. Do me a big favor. As he's walking out, I'm gonna be right behind him. Snap a picture of me holding up the Mexican flag and my uncle right there." And I said, "Yeah, no problem." And I took that picture, and then I started thinking, I was like, "Man, he's got a platform. He's now out there, out and about, right? Whether he be in the background or he be the striker, he's got a
Yeah.
platform. He's out there.
Yeah.
Oh wow, okay, this is something that possibilities of getting onto something where it's like the UFC, right? It, we all have dreams of getting, especially if you come from an MMA background, we all have
Yep.
dreams of getting to the UFC. A lot of our disciplines aren't going to get us to that point in time, right? Because we don't train consistently enough. Um, then that's just for the most part, but it's every Hawaiian kid's dream is to be in the UFC. So if I could get somewhere near that, which would be Power Slap, I mean, I'm all for it. I was gung ho about it, and he's my friend already told me. He was like, "Hey man, look, you look the part, you talk the part."
Yeah.
He's like, "I think you're gonna be a perfect fit for this if you just kind of went in and put your application in for Power Slap." So we did, and didn't get the call back. Got a bunch of emails back and forth. Hey, let's see a video of you swinging. Hey, what's your background like? Right. And this whole buildup of a profile. And they just never hit me back. And it wasn't until my brother decided that he wanted to make the transition from Arizona and wanted to start training here in San Diego to, obviously further his MMA career.
Yep.
That's where it really took off, right? He did a few matches, did a bare knuckle match in the Bayous. He did a MMA match in Commerce Casino out here, and his last match when he went against somebody that was really good in jiu-jitsu, it was short-lived. You know, the guy was really good and tapped him out in the first like 30 something seconds of the match.
Yeah.
Right. So I look at him and I'm telling him, hey man, look, we got to go one dimensional with this. It's either you stick to boxing, you stick to doing the bare knuckle stuff, or there's other opportunities like this sport right here that's just so brand new, power slap.
Yeah.
And he turned me down in the very beginning, and then I was like, okay, like I just see where the future lies, right? When it's something like this and it's so brand new and you can jump into something like this, and you know, at any point in time, you're a pioneer. No matter you've been in the sport for a very long time or you've been in it for a short period of time, you're a pioneer because it's new.
You're there in the
So
beginning.
golden opportunity.
Yeah.
I went with him to Power Slap 7. He competed against Joseph Landman. And I showed up to the media day and walked around as his brother slash coach slash manager, whatever it may be. And AJ Hintz was the first person that recognized me. I was sitting there and kind of waiting in the darkness, and he looked at me and he's like, "Hey man, are you a security guard here? Do you work for Power Slap?" And I'm like, "Nope." He's like, "That's my brother right there. He's competing in the 185 division." And he's like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Man." I feel sorry for whoever your opponent was or is if you were in Power Slap. And that was it. Sealed the deal for me. I was like, okay, yeah, this is gonna be something where we can just kind of take over. Come in here and just kind of just storm it real quick.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. We ended up, you know, talking to Erica, and Erica was like, we got a season that's coming up. We're going to be highlighting few different divisions, but we would love to, you know, give you an opportunity to be able to get on the season. And that following Monday after he performed on Power Slap 7, she sent me the email and calling me right back out there. And that was all she wrote.
The rest
What
is
was it
history.
like in the house? Like, I've watched the show, like, that we can see on YouTube, but, like, what was it like behind the scenes? What stuff they didn't show us that would be cool to see?
I don't know about cool. I mean, everything's it's I mean, it's like basically like a series, right? So they're telling you what to do, where to go. Hey man, I need you to be over here. The one thing that wasn't cool about the whole entire thing is that you don't everything is recorded. So you don't get to have music.
Mm.
The house lights are always on. So I mean, no matter where you go, right? It's got to look like it's daytime the whole
Yeah.
entire time. So the house lights is always on. You know, if you got to make a call if you need something. You know, so it kind of puts you back in a penitentiary style. You know, like, hey,
Yeah.
I need this. You guys got to send me this. Okay, we got the guys going out there to go get it for you. You know. But what I can say was the coolest part was I came into that season kind of like every typical calling me right now. They're like, I know you're on Slappy Hour. I gotta bother you. I got Bryce Jones. I got Rod calling me, and like, I know you're on there now. Let's bother you right now. But the coolest part was I came on season 3 with the mindset of I gotta go out there, I gotta perform. I gotta push my way to the champion. And during Power Slap 7, when I was there with my brother, I rode in a van with the Hawaiian Hitman right here, right next to me. And it's my first time ever meeting him. Hawaiian Hitman behind me, Damien DeBell in front of me, KO Chris here, my brother right next to KO Chris. And the whole entire time, I know that Damien DeBell is the champion.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at him and I'm like, man, that's the guy that I got to go against pretty soon. And Hawaiian Hitman leans over my shoulder and he goes, hey, brother, what weight class are you in? I said, oh, the heavyweight division. And he looks at me and he looks forward and he's like, that's the champ right there. And it sealed the deal. I said, okay, bro, I know exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make sure I'm well prepared to go against this guy, and all I want is the title.
Yeah.
But when I got on the season, I ran into 40 other different guys that were going through the same struggles in life, just like me.
Yeah.
Right. Whether it be addictions to certain things, gambling, drugs, whatever it may be. and there was synchronicity there.
Yeah.
And that's probably the coolest thing that I could ever experience. One, being the first time being on TV at all, and two, now I'm with people that are going through the same struggles just like me. And and the things that I've done before, I've kind of gotten out of that, climbed out that bucket.
Yeah.
How can I help these guys fix themselves? And that's all it became.
You
I
saw that
turned
on the show.
into,
You were a good teacher helping people. Like, you were great involved with everyone.
yeah, I tried, and that was the pivotal point right there, and said, hey, you know what? Yeah, am I chasing a title? Of course, we're all chasing a title, right? It's kind of it was there first, and then I pushed it down. I said, that's not it. The real goal is to see how many people I can affect their lives.
That's awesome.
That's sick.
How many people can I change, right? Like whether their mindset, whether what they're thinking about right now. They're nervous just like me. They're on a TV show. This is their first time being on a TV show. It's just like me, you know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, how do I help them? Help them with their technique, and I'm a greenhorn too. So as
Yeah.
I'm progressing and I'm learning how to do weight transfer and all these other things, I'm that guy that will teach you. I'll reach out and be like, hey man, if you just did this a little bit different, I bet you your hit would be a lot better. If you just did this where you extend a little bit more on your hand, I bet you would be cracking people. And it's like, here, let's practice. So I was getting in more rounds with all these guys in the house and really trying to just put my stamp on the sport early, and the season was what helped it, and I was very lucky that at the end of the season, even with and I don't want to say poor performance, but I just want to I got 1 win, 1 loss.
Yeah.
So leaving the show, I'm thinking in my head, like, these guys aren't going to call me back. I didn't make a good enough impression on them to make them, keep me around. So I'm waiting, and as soon as I get home, natural human instinct, like the instincts kick in, where it's like, man, they're never going to call me back. That was my one shot, and that's all it is. And now I'm just going to be waiting in the dark, And then I get the call, and I'm like, hey man, check this out. It's like, you're number 8 in the world.
Wow.
Blew my mind.
Yeah.
I said, oh, okay, now, right, just like anything else, we have somewhere to focus our energy,
Yeah,
Yeah.
big time.
our thinking. Oh, I'm number 8. Cool. Now I gotta climb. Now I'm in the ranking. Let's do some work. So
Yeah.
I like that. I'm
it was
kinda the
different.
same way. Like, if I can help someone, I go out on my way to do it. Like in Saudi when we were there, the three of us, sorry.
Yeah.
There was new people coming in, and a lot of attention seemed to be more on the China guy, the guy from China that
Yeah, Zhao.
and stuff.
Yeah.
So as soon as he was in a room, coaches went over there and left everyone to fend for themselves, and all these new guys kept coming up to like me or Lewis and, hey, what do we do for this? And like, well, if you guys just changed your foot this way, make sure it's down, transfer weight like this,
Yeah.
and they loved it.
Did a lot of coaching over there. It was nice.
What was that, Lewis?
So we did a lot of coaching over there for the new guys, didn't we? It was nice. Because
It was.
anyone
Like,
with
we would be in
experience
the
in this
gym.
sport, it's leaps and bounds.
Let's say we're all like together in on it. It's like you're equal when you're up there in a sense. We're putting our chin out there. We're throwing a strike. Can you take it? But help each other. Like, let's see the best of each other out there is the way I think of it.
Exactly.
I don't want an easy way to the top. I want a challenge, and I want to make sure everyone's on even grounds here.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I think. And then it really helps the sport grow too.
And that's the major focus, right? When you make that shift, and you realize that it's whatever you can provide to the sport itself and to the strikers itself, it's only going to better the sport. You're going to have people that are actually really training properly, the way that they're supposed to train, doing the things that they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And it's not always on the physical side of it too. It's also on your presence, your entertainment factor.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, it's hard to train that because people are just so used to going out there and just okay, I got to go through the physical movements. I got to hit this guy. I got to do my little cheer at the very end. Oh, this guy I ate that hit. It's nothing. And those are very common across the board. I mean, that's, you want to show that you're confident out there on the stage. But what happens when you do get a microphone in your hand and it's time for you to talk? Well, you need to practice some kind of PR. You got to have some kind of message, and it's not to say pre-planned, but you got to have what you initially are holding in you, your message that you're going to deliver to the world, because this is your one shot, your one opportunity to be able to make your mark, and you got to have that already preset and ready to go, man. And performance has to be, it's rated all the way across the board. It's not just what you do on stage, it's how you present yourself when you're doing your walkout, the build up from the media day. And that's our overall goal, is to get more people, more eyes, people that are interested in the stories, seeing where you came from. And I tell everybody this, it's where you were, where you are now currently, and where you're going.
Hell yeah.
And that's your setup to anything that you're doing when you go out on the stage. Is like, you're showing people that you came from either a hard struggle or wherever you were before, where you are currently now, what you're trying to do for yourself and your family, and where you're going for the future, right? What am I trying to see, 3 years, 2 years down the line? Because this is a short-lived sport. You're not going to be in here forever.
No.
2 years, 3 years down the line, what can I do to make an impact on the world and change people's lives, so that way other people know, they know who you are. You leave a legacy behind when you start changing people's lives. That's the difference.
Great time.
You shift out of that mode, and we're all like this at some point in time in our life. We shift out of that mode, that you go from selfish to selfless.
Yes.
You start making things, other parts in your life, more valued than what it originally is. Everybody's out there to go and make a mark for themselves, but it's what the small pieces that you leave in your legacy, that when somebody else looks you up and they go, oh man, you remember this guy? He was the guy that just really inspired people and did this and did that, and he was really gung-ho about his training. He was 100% on. And that's the one that they're gonna constantly go back to and just look you up and be like, man, this was the dude,
Yeah.
It's like Don Fry. You look at Don Fry, was an absolute fucking, he paved the way in the UFC, and people still talk about him to this day because, he was just, one, he was a badass, two, he has some funny things to say. And then everything he did was just to benefit the company. So yeah, I get it. That's such a great insight into what you think about it.
Yeah, that's how it has to be. And the company is the company. Let's talk about that. The company is the company itself. It's not going anywhere. They're
No.
making money, they're making money and printing money just like normal.
Yeah.
See, but it takes people like us, that once you have a good understanding, and it's I always take it back to sales, right? Is when you're selling something, right? You want to keep all that all that build up all the way to the very end. And then if you have to go back down to kind of be like, hey man, if it doesn't make any sense, this is what I can do for you to make it make sense for you.
Yeah.
That's something. But you always have to give the full expectation is the top part of the sale.
Yeah.
Same thing with this sport, right? When you're doing this, you can't have it be where it's hey man, I accept anything, doesn't matter what it is. Because then the sport will, guess what? They're gonna give you exactly what they have, and that's it. You're not gonna, there's no progression in this. And if everybody kind of takes that initial pool, like, oh, okay, well, I'm and not to throw numbers, but I'm signed for a contract for 5 and 5. This is a company that's making multi-million dollars,
Hell yeah.
and you're getting paid $5,000 a show, $5,000 to win.
Yeah.
You've now devalued yourself, especially if your value is to spread the message, help others, do all these amazing things within the sport, and it's not always based on money, right?
No.
When it's coming in, it's what you can give out, but and it makes the most sense when you start to ask for, like, hey man, look, I'm about to. I mean, I've never seen somebody where they face the champ and immediately they get an increase on their pay,
Yeah.
right? They're
right?
signed to a contract that they're at 5-5. They're going to face
Yeah.
the champion and get paid 5-5. It's not like I can ask for something different.
Yeah. It's not like McGregor where
So
you can say, hey, my contract's void. I want more money.
no way. So you have to set your standard in the very beginning of what's acceptable and what's not, and what makes sense for you. Because if this, not everybody is going to be their life. Power slap isn't their life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Slap fighting isn't their life. They've got a normal, regular 9 to 5 that they go to every single day. That they got to make that happen, and then this is supposed to be their hobby, right? But for a lot of people, this is their dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they want to make slap fighting just like UFC. People want, they could have worked as a plumber, an electrician, or did anything else, but they want to make fighting their thing. So they put all their effort, they put all their work into the actual slap bouts and actual fighting.
Hell yeah.
And when you do something like that and you're more invested, well, if you're investing in this way, your ROI should be good too, right? You got to
Yeah.
get your return, because this is a short-lived sport. You're not going to stay around for long. You got 2 to 5 years max.
Yeah.
And depending on what age you are, I mean, if you're Damien the Bell and you're like 21, 22, then yeah, you got a longer period of time.
Yeah. He's
But
got more time. If he chooses,
but
he may not want to.
well, I'm 37. So just me as a prime example. I'm 37 years old. So do I see myself being in this sport for the next 10 plus years? No, there's no way. What what do I have to do? I have to start establishing certain relationships, certain sponsors, certain
Yeah.
people I work with, to build that value for myself, so that way I don't have to mess around with the sport I don't have to depend on the sport at any point in time. And for that,
One
you got to
another
build
thing for
up your
you,
character.
another thing for you, like, because you've left your mark on people, you
Hell
could
yeah.
be brought in as coaching. You could be, who knows, later down the road, you could be a commentator. Like,
Hmm.
if you're someone that leaves a mark and everyone likes you, you're more likely to get called for something outside of the fight.
100%.
For sure.
I mean,
And
we're
I
the
could
same. I
definitely
mean,
be a coach or something, hands down. Like, even the brief conversations we had in Vegas when we were on the bus going to the venue, you changed my mind on wanting to go down to light heavyweight. Like, 'cause I was sitting at 230 at that time, and I was like, I'm gonna ride it out here at heavyweight till the contract's done, and then go down. And you're like, you're a big boy, but like, you're kind of in the middle. I would just kind of go up.
yeah.
Like, if
Yeah,
you want to be in the heavyweight, you got to be with the big boys. You got to be 250 and up.
you have
I was
to.
like, that's true. Then
Yep.
that changed everything for me. I was like, well, maybe we see light heavyweight a year or two down the road. Like, we'll see where I can get to heavyweight, and if stuff starts to fall from there, I know I can get to light heavyweight.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Just take a little more time now that I'm 260.
Right.
Going to be a progression down now, but it could happen.
Yeah,
And yeah, you
but you're
leave a mark wherever you go. We definitely appreciate it.
I try my best. My main thing is that I'm constantly trying to be the best version of myself,
Hmm.
or wherever it looks like, and I'm trying to connect all the pieces of the puzzle together, whether it be mind, body, and spirit. You have to make all of it make sense for you, and that's where you're gonna see the most, the maximum results, is
Yeah.
that when you're trying to make the connection between everything, right? I spent, this is all just from learning. I've spent a lot of
Mhm.
time chasing dreams and chasing dragons and doing all kinds of other things, and realizing that potentially that's not the route that it could go. I've dabbled in too many things, and I had no sole purpose, no focus, no drive, no blinders on, no tunnel vision. And with stuff that you start to be passionate about and you're obsessed with, you have to have tunnel vision.
Yeah.
That's the only way that you're going to progress in anything that you do, whether it be business, whether it be the sport, whether it be anything. You know what I mean? Just becoming a better writer, becoming a better musician. Like, it's tunnel vision and focus that creates the guy that you see every single day that becomes the best version of themselves, and figures out where, and not to go spiritual on you guys, but we live in a world where we are literally consumed by what we are feeding our flesh.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
The materialistic world controls whatever happens to us, because we still got to wake up tomorrow and pay bills. We still got to take care of our families, and
Yep.
everything is all surrounded around either some kind of sin, which is the dollar, or whatever it may be. And when we start realizing that life is way more important than that, and it's not those types of things, then we start to slowly stop chasing those dragons. And we fill it with other things. Like if you guys got kids and you guys got family, you know what I mean? That's like it's the overall, biggest thing is like, do I want to be the champion of the world? Yeah. But I want to be the best dad too.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
I want to be the best version of myself, the way that and have somebody look up to me. Like if other people in the world are looking up to me, I want my son to look at me just like that too. You know what I mean? And that right there, you start to win. Then you think, oh my gosh, well, imagine if I could teach him, especially like being very, very strong culture, like the Hawaiian in me. Dude, I want my son to know how to fish, how to hunt, how
Yeah.
to do agriculture and to live off the land.
Yeah.
And that's more important to me than anything. So whatever supports that idea of me being the best version of myself for other people in my family or other people around me, whether it be my church, whether it be right in my household, doesn't matter. That's my full focus. I want that for my future and not chasing a dollar and say, oh man, when are these guys gonna call me up and put me on the stage to slap somebody in the face?
Yeah.
That's not my it's a concern, but it's really not.
Yeah.
I'm just out there trying to help others just be better versions of themselves too, man. People are struggling. Since I've been in this sport, I have made so many relationships and connections with a lot of people, and I've heard it all, man. Hey, brother, I'm struggling here. Hey, brother, I can't make rent. Hey, brother, I'm going down the rabbit hole with all these things that's happening around me.
Yeah.
And dude, I sit there and I become like, I not to say that, but I become a therapist and a counselor and really just like, hey, I help you out. And then I realize, dude, I go through the same struggles, brother.
Yeah.
It's like so at the end of the day, dude, when I'm talking to you, it's helping me too. Because I get
Yeah.
to I get to talk the situation out because it's one gonna help you, it's two, it's gonna help me. I'm gonna figure out where I need to make my next step, what's my next move, how I should operate, and once you become the person that you feel or the person that you know that you are, just stay consistent. That's
Absolutely.
it. Consistency is the hardest part in this game. Everybody falls off after a certain period of time, but you gotta get back on the horse and you gotta make sure you don't give up. I did a pod the other day and I told him, I was like, man, you have anything to say for the youth? And I'm like, yeah, never give up, bro. Because I've had moments in my life where I'm looking and I'm like, I could have easily just thrown in the towel and just said, this is it. I can't do this no more. I can't do this for my family. I can't do this for my friends. I can't even do it for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw in the towel, man. But funny thing is I get to wake up the next day. God opens my eyes, and he allows me to do a full reset.
Life is just a roller coaster, man. Like there's ups, there's downs. It's how you get out of those downs,
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
yourself back.
Yep.
So
No,
I think we've
that's
all
that,
been like,
yeah. That's crazy. That's great. Like, I mean, what a great message to give to anyone. And I mean, I've struggled in my past, I'm sure like the other guys have, but like to know exactly, if you can reach out to somebody and they can tell you, hey, this is what I've been through, no matter how bad your day is, that I can always get better. I mean, that's more valuable than anything, and it's easier to learn a lesson with somebody else than do it on your own. And I mean, I think what a lot of people don't realize is that as men, we tend to just hold it all in, and then next thing you know, it's too much. And I really appreciate the message that you were throwing out there because I've been there, I've been the highest of highs, the lowest of lows, and what it's just great. It's great to hear that there's other people out there that still feel the same things as men. And then what's great as well, because of social media and the way the world is as well, is guys aren't afraid to talk about it.
yeah,
But I think that's the best part. I mean, Jesus Christ, I've had days where I don't want to get out of bed, but I'm like, shit, I got to get up, I got to pay bills, I got to look after family, and but a lot of guys out there think, shit, it's only me that deals with these same issues. I don't, there's nobody else that understands how bad I feel, but that's awesome. So I think anyone listening to this podcast today would be absolutely thrilled to hear that there's other guys that know what's going on, and it's just as easy to pick up a phone or pick up a text or reach out to somebody. But that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and it's everybody's gonna have financial burden.
Hell yeah.
because that's what controls this world is the
Yeah.
finances.
Yeah.
Right. But at the end of the day, after having the finances being an issue, it's your mental health.
Yeah.
And in any sport, it doesn't matter if it's this sport or UFC or any sport, people are going to go through those type of things where it's your mental health is always at jeopardy every single time, because the stress load that you have from not only the world but yourself.
Yeah.
You start to realize, man, I hold a lot of weight on my shoulders, and I really don't get to talk about it.
Yeah.
I gotta live it. I gotta live it, because if I start talking about my feelings, I get in my feelings.
Yeah.
Then I start not paying attention to what I gotta do, and then it becomes a downward spiral for a lot of us.
Yeah.
And I feel like those conversations that those are the ones that are needed to have. Is grown men need to come together and actually really have a conversation and really start talking about what's the next goal. Like, if you had somebody that was checking in with you every 1, 2, 3 days, whatever it may be, and say, hey man, look, what's your next goal? What's the accomplishment for the day? What do you see for yourself 2 years, 3 years down the line? And you having that constant reminder of what your real purpose here in this life is, then you start doing all those things and you start living by what you say. The more you announce it to yourself internally, the more that you're going to start reacting and put action to it externally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because then you're like, damn, I'm really not doing for myself, man. Pono, or doesn't matter if it's me or anybody else. Man, this guy really said something, and it's like, I'm really not doing those things.
Yeah.
Check back in. I got to go clock back in. I got to go put my work back in, because I thought I was doing something. We as humans, we really feel like we're very busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we're
Constantly
not.
doing stuff, very busy. But are you progressing?
Yeah.
That's the difference. Or are you stagnant, staying still and being busy?
Just going with the flow, staying.
Going with the flow of things, your daily routine of how you run your day and how you run your life. And that's to some people, that's more than enough.
Yeah.
They lose all confidence in themselves, because they're like, man, I got to add more things into my day after I already do all this craziness. And it's like, but reality is that we're not putting enough emphasis on the focus that we need, and we're kind of spreading ourselves thin amongst other things.
Yeah.
Once we hone in and we know that this is what really drives that initial stuff, then your focus becomes where I'm only trying to get better. I'm only trying to do better for myself. I'm only trying to do better for my family and the people that are close to me. We all have our circles, right? You got your smaller circle, your tight knit family circle. You got your friend circle. You got the people that are acquaintances are on the outside of that circle. But you always got to start from the internal circle.
Yeah.
That if this circle is not tight and strong, you're gonna have struggles, because you can't do all the extra external stuff without getting yourself taken care of first. Who sits in the middle of the circle? It's you.
Hell yeah.
You sit in the middle of the circle, bro. You control your world. You control everything around it. And when you realize that you control a lot of the things that you do, then you also realize that you also control the things that you get into.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whether to say no or whether to say yes, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's like you make your choices of how you move around in life, man. It's not anybody else, it's you. People can put opinions and they can tell you stuff, but it's really you that makes the choice whether you take that opinion in and you let it affect you and you regurgitate it back out in a certain way, or you move away from whatever you think is going on and you create your own path, That's how it has to be. You gotta be. I've heard this so many years of my life, bro. How are you going to take care of other people around you if you can't take care of yourself?
Hell yeah. No truer message.
And that right there is the key to everything.
Yeah.
Is that self-care, self-awareness, all those things need to happen first before you can start doing anything else.
Yeah.
I know this pod is an open pod, and we're talking about everything and power slap and all this stuff, but this is reality.
Yeah.
This is where people skip this step. Because
the good
once we
thing
figure
is,
out this stuff, we can figure out everything else.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's what we love about this pod. I mean, like you said, it's open format. You talk about whatever gets you up in the morning, and if you've got a good message, then, it either resonates with with the followers or it doesn't. And that's what we're here to do. We're not here just to talk only about slap. We're here to talk about, if we're touching on men's health, if we're touching on mental health, whether that be men, women, children, whatever it is. And if you can make someone's life a bit better that one day, then that's what this is about. It's not, hey, how great are you? And how many slaps can you take? How many slaps can you throw? Do you think you're better than the next guy? At the end of the day, we're all here because 1, we like money. 2, we take risks. And 3, because, we like getting out and experiencing life. But the one thing I've realized a lot lately was, if I put as much time into me and everything else around me as I do when it comes to making money and work, and as much as I put my, I put my all into everything that I do when it comes to trying to make money and, my job. But if I just took a bit of time for me and just said, I'm going to focus on me the same way I do everything else, shit, I'd be a lot better and I'd be a lot happier, which, I'm starting to realize the less I give a shit, the happier I am, which is great. And so, yeah, like, dude, you could sit here and talk to us for 5 hours all about what you're talking about. And I think I'd sit here happily and smile and nod, and I'd be completely in agreement with you.
Yeah. That's it.
That's
I
how
think
this
yeah, it's the unspoken words, you know what I mean? A lot of people, it took me a while. It took me a few times. I've been on some podcasts where I'm like, I have a lot in me that I want to say, but you can't because you don't want to let those demons out.
Yeah.
And then you hold back on all what really needs to happen. And slowly as I progressed, and having a platform and being able to talk to people, whatever it may be, I've allowed myself to be vulnerable and open up, start talking about the things that have happened to me in the past or whatever it may be, and where I'm trying to focus my all that into now, right?
Yeah.
Where I was, where I'm at now, and what am I trying to do for the future, man? Where am I trying to go?
Yeah.
Where am I trying to take this path, and yeah, man, it has helped me so much by speaking on the things and giving it a name and bringing it to light, and then realizing like, okay, man, that was a phase in my life that's what I was doing, and now I need to, as we evolve, we need to make changes. We need to make changes. We need to make choices that are going to benefit not just myself and being that selfish person, but now being selfless, and how is it going to benefit my son? How is it going to benefit my wife? How is it going to benefit my family around me? Is it going to help them by being a better version of myself and helping myself? Well, yeah, because it alleviates the worry of other people worrying about what's going on with you.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh man, I don't have to worry about this guy anymore. He's good. He's doing what he's supposed to do."
Yeah.
And that's a big thing for me. If I accomplish anything in this sport, is that I leave the sport with that. Something to talk about, you know what I mean? The full legacy. Like, hey man, that was somebody that was trying to change his life.
Big time.
I like that. See, that's why we came about with this podcast. We met each other in Saudi and instantly clicked. But then we're like, wouldn't it be cool to just have a podcast where we can all shoot the shit and just talk and get to know every fighter if we can? Because we all got a story.
Yeah.
And I found instantly in Power Slap, like, you're pretty well embraced. Like, everyone welcomed me with open arms coming from a wrestling background. There were people that didn't like it at first, but they still talked to me and welcomed me. And once they talked to me and knew my story and saw how I was, they respected it and changed their mind. So that's our whole goal, is like, bring attention to the sport, bring attention to the athletes, and share your story. We want to know who you are, how you came about crossing our path.
Yeah.
Share whatever's on your mind. That's why we love it.
I mean, that was the cool thing. We all met in like what we considered like the vaping or smoking area outside the hotel. And we just got talking to everybody. Everyone that came out was involved in the conversation. Like, it didn't matter what weight class. It didn't matter if you were fighting the guy standing next to you. But it was nice to know that, like, come on out. You don't, just because you might be fighting me the end of the week doesn't mean that, you don't get to come in and, get to know everybody. And I think that's what really good, the podcast. And I think that's what's great is a lot of the people we've had on have said it's nice to not have to just sit down and answer questions. We get to just come on, talk shit, do what guys do. If we were sitting around the fire talking, this is exactly what we want. It's like, that kind of powwow, like, let's just get it all out there.
Yeah. No, this is great. It's great. And what I would say is people don't like change.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a huge thing. So when you have, Lewis coming in from Brit Slap, right? You guys coming in from a different fighting league. You've got the NXT wrestlers that are coming in. They're saying and we, especially being already in Power Slap, you look at it like, man, we don't need all these guys in here.
Yeah.
We already got the A team in this place. It's like we are the guys that they were looking for. Why are they looking for different people? But you don't understand that the sport needs to grow.
Yeah.
Other people need to have opportunities.
Yeah.
Lewis doesn't have to stay in Brit Slap. He's done really well. He's got the heavyweight championship title, right? He needs growth. He needs to move on to something different that's going to highlight him in a different way. It's going to put more eyes on him the way he needs it. And the growth part of it, it's going to change who he is as a person by changing the goals that you're trying to reach.
Big time.
Don't be stagnant in the sport. You know what I mean? And same thing for wrestling. Like the jump between wrestling and Power Slap, and you being involved in multiple things, multiple worlds.
Yeah.
That's what you need, because whether they follow you in Power Slap or they transition and follow you in wrestling, it's like you need your fan base to understand, hey man, this is where I'm going, this is what I'm doing, and what I'm trying to do with my life. And that's the key to this. And I wish Power Slap spent, and not to say that they do a bad job, but I just say that I wish they spent more time highlighting the strikers and highlighting a story and highlighting the fact, like, yes, the seasons, is that what it was for, and that was the purpose? Maybe, possibly, but all reality is that you can replicate that by talking about the people throughout when you go up on stage and when you represent yourself on stuff. You have those moments when you can speak about your life, and those things should be highlighted to create the fan base for everybody. Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to make you better, is that having people follow you and follow your story and figure out what's going on, man. I have my friends that watch me battle from Hawaii, and they're like, man, I remember when this guy was like this and this and but look at him now.
Yeah.
Look at him now, bro. He's completely different. He's changed his ways.
The fact the
and
fans
it's
want to
like,
connect on a deeper level with the athletes, and you can't do that without knowing who they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can't do that without creating a relationship with the person. You know what I mean? Or having activities for us to do that we can interact with the fans the way that we need to make things grow.
I would
And
love press conferences. Like,
yeah. And
that would be a nice ad.
Yeah.
It's rough, right? And it's hard. It's really hard to kind of get people behind you, right? When you're not getting highlighted in the way that you need to.
Yeah.
So I wish that they would do that for everybody. And it's not just like, hey man, you know what? Isaiah's the next hottest thing on the block, so let's just do Isaiah. Or
Yeah.
hey, let's just do Brandon Bordeaux, or oh man, this guy's been around. Okay, let's do Crazy Hawaiian. It's like everybody should have an opportunity, and that's what's gonna help. That's what's gonna help the sport grow. Is that everybody gets a chance. You get to see what people's real strengths and weaknesses are in this sport.
It needs to be like the UFC promos, like when you turn on like UFC 25, the older ones, where as soon as it starts, you had the intro, and then it was the fighter talking, and it built up like each fight that you felt something for someone in each fight, and it just made it bigger. I would love to see something like that, just like little videos and clips before the event of everyone on the card.
Yeah, UFC embedded.
Yeah.
UFC embedded. Hey, day in the life of the striker, what he's doing and how he's operating. So kind of kick it back in is if you notice, that's exactly what I've been trying to do.
Yeah.
Is I've reached out to the people that are that already have been sponsoring the sport, and and realizing that the story really matters. People resonate with the story.
Yeah.
And then they hear it, they meet me, they talk to me, and they're like, man, authentic. This guy's authentic, bro. He's really out here. He's really out here doing something good for himself and for the world. He's trying to do something different. And you got to get them to, really get behind you and back you on what the next step is. So just recently I had Wolfpack come out here to San Diego to do that full on video that you guys see, but I'm trying to get that part where, is it like embedded? It's more the day in the life. Hey, what is Pono doing today? He's going out there and he's training. How does he train? How does he train for such a thing? To go out there and take a slap, to deliver a slap, to do whatever it is. And those are the points that you need to really get into people's heads, is because if other companies are involved in this, we got to start utilizing all the other companies and making a relationship with them and building up our sponsorships and really getting them to highlight who we are as strikers. And that's the only way that we're going to be able to get that reach out. If it's not going to be where it's highlighted specifically through the sport itself, we have to find the other avenues to be able to start attacking.
Yeah. And you've got to
really,
do that yourself, because Power Slap aren't going to do it for you.
No.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, that's going to build your character. It's going to build who you are as a person, really putting your hand out there and reaching out there for the things that you want to come back to you. It's a lot of guys, you see, and not, there's no bad things to say about people, but like, we all fall short in certain parts of the movement, right? You're really good in this, but you're not really good in this. You get it? So we have to be all the way across the board, a full package, to be able to get that stuff to be at that level of where you can bring people in, or where you can get these opportunities to start happening for you. And you have people that go out there and they don't know what to do outside of what the physical aspect is. You just slap the guy, get it done, get off the stage.
Yeah.
Right. Or maybe they don't have that ability to, like the ability to be able to talk to other people. They're very introverted, and they just stick to themselves and they don't say as much. Right. So those things, especially if you're going to be in the eye of the, in the fishbowl like that, you need to be able to start increasing the way you talk, the way you walk, everything else that's going around you, and kind of molding that to make it fit to where you can start plugging in the things that you want, the positive, the boom, boom, boom. But it's got to look a certain way first before you can start making the next step.
Absolutely.
It has to look a certain way, bro. We can't stay in that mode where it's like, oh, okay, I'm comfortable here. If you're comfortable, you're not going to grow.
No, you're going to stay right where you are.
You'll stay exactly where you are, because you don't want to get hurt.
Yeah.
You don't want to get rejected on something. Oh man, this guy, how many calls I get from other strikers that are like, oh bro, they're not calling me back, and they didn't talk to me in the last week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't know what's going on. I message them every other day, and it's like, it's rough. It's rough. It's, trust me, people are gonna, outside of a business aspect, people are gonna have personal things on it where it's like, it's just not their cup of tea, that they're kind of going into that route. But that should never kill your energy.
And you're
It
right.
should never kill your energy. You should never resonate with that. You should be like, oh man, that's not happening. Well, let me see what I can do. My 2-mile radius around where I live, and people live in like the middle of the forest. Who cares?
Yeah.
But 2-mile radius, what can I do? Let me go talk to the local gyms that's right around in just this general area. Let me get my name on. Hey man, look, I'm Carl. I'm ranked number what, yada yada, in the power step division. And it's like, man, I come to this gym and I train here every single day, and I'm trying to create something for the future. And right now I'm in a sport that is so fairly brand new that anything I do in this sport at this point in time, it's gonna be highlighted all the way across the board. So man, let me represent your fitness gym. Let me represent this place. And it's sometimes in the very beginning, it's gonna be the, you can't set your expectations all the way up here. first, and then not be able to accept the things that you're going to get in the very beginning, which is not going to be money. It's not
No.
going to be tied to where, oh, these guys are paying me now to represent their company. It doesn't start that way. It's going to start by you growing that affiliate style. Hey, man, let me do some stuff for you. Let me do and let's see what we can work together, right? Work together and see where we can go from there. And then right now, don't get comfortable in this little shell. Branch out 5 miles. Branch out 10 miles, and continue to expand and go into things. Think about the things that you already are locked in with. Like right now, currently, you're in a fitness induced sport. You're an athlete. What do? Chiropractors, massage therapists, fitness, anything in gym related.
Yeah.
Meal prepping, because you gotta prep up for cuts and food and all the other stuff. These are the avenues that you gotta attack.
Yeah.
Find all the meal prep places that are close to you. Find all the gyms that are close to you. And especially if you already have a dedicated gym that you already go to, attack that thing.
Yeah.
Do not sit there and show up and put your headphones on and go and work out. Start talking to the people that make sense in there, so that way you can start building up what is you. You are the brand.
It's networking. It's like, I mean, I
Yeah,
watched
networking.
an interview today with the, I believe he's the CEO of Monster, and he was talking about when they first signed Conor McGregor. They were like, got this guy in. They didn't know much about him, but they were like, hey, we'll take a chance. He obviously took off straight to the moon. And I think it was when he fought Floyd Mayweather, they were like, well, how much money do we need to give you to put, like, you know, the Monster logo on your shorts? He was like, don't worry, I got that one for free. He's like, you guys have had me from the very start, so you know, this is just a freebie. This is on me, until obviously they couldn't afford him. But it just goes to show you can start big or you can start small, but as long as you're still reaching out and at least trying. I mean, I like what you said about the Wolfpack guys, and it's big, it's huge. I mean, shit, I bought into it, bought a Wolfpack power slap bag. I was like, shit, I'm buying one of those. They look awesome. And then, but like that, you were talking obviously about like men and, you know, like helping each other out and stuff like that, but that epitomizes everything that Wolfpack is. It's, you know, a Wolfpack only goes as fast as the slowest member. So, you know, bringing it right back to what you were saying about trying to help each other. I mean, you couldn't resonate more with a company if you tried, you know?
Yeah.
Yep. And that right there, you like all these stuffs. The sponsors are there.
Yeah.
You know that they are. You know what I mean? Here's another one. Do not sit around and let it be based off of your performance in the sport.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be gaps.
Big time.
From October to now.
Yeah.
If you haven't accomplished anything in the last 5 months being in this position that you are now, where was your growth at? What were you supposed to be doing? You were supposed to be talking to all the sponsors, talking to all the people, getting your fan base up, right? Making sure that you understand what the ideal goal is, where am I going, right? Where's my ideal scene at? And main part is take action.
Yeah.
You are not going to go anywhere by sitting there watching things fly right by you. You have to jump in. You have to start talking to people. I would be dead in the water right now and not being so inspirational if I just sat back and I didn't try to reach out to all the companies and try to work with people.
Yeah, big time.
And also work with the strikers.
Yeah.
Like I don't go by and be like, "Hey, Lewis, bro, you gotta pay me. You gotta pay me to learn what I'm gonna teach you."
Yeah.
Are you crazy? This is
Yeah.
this is a very dumbed down, and I don't want to talk smack about it, but it's a very dumbed down part where you're going out there and you're delivering a slap. Is there technique behind it? Yes. Is there stuff that you can do in the defensive? Yes. But it's very simple in that sense. So me telling Lewis how to be that ultimate slapper, dude, the guy's already been out there and he's been doing it.
That's for sure.
He's already had a few matches. He has more experience than I do in a sense of where you think like that, right? And we all can grow from taking things from each other.
Exactly.
So like when I ask him about his information about, okay, well, how do you do this and how do you do that? Yeah, perfect. He breaks it down to me. I understand it. I share information back that way. Hey man, look, if it could help if you do this, or it could help if you do that.
And that's how
And
we
you're
all
like,
grow.
dang. And that's how it's supposed to
Yep,
be.
I'm a big
Yeah.
advocate for that.
There is no
Definitely.
there's no gatekeeping in this.
No.
There's no gatekeeping in this, because nobody else is gonna grow. And if you want to be that guy, you want to be that selfish dude that, man, I just got to make it to the top. Look, I got two right now, just right now on this podcast. I got two people in the heavyweight division that I would no problem have any problem sharing information with you
That goes
about
both.
what
That goes both ways.
about
Yeah.
the training, about what I do daily, about
Yep.
how I and not only just outside of like the actual physicality part, but like getting the sponsorships. Who do I talk to? Where's my point of contact? How do I hit all these guys up? What's my and not to say that that's how it always is, but what's my pitch?
Yeah.
What's my pitch that's successfully working every single time, so that way when I jump in the room with somebody, they understand what I'm trying to do with them. Instead of the, oh yeah, well, this guy's in the back. Okay, now we got him. You don't, none of that stuff, bro. You gotta be the guy that's actually driving the car.
Yeah.
Hey man, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make something big for myself. You guys are a big company.
Big time.
I'm the small fish in the pond.
Yeah.
How do I get there? Where do I start getting the food fed to me, man? Who's gonna feed me?
Yeah.
Where's it at? You know what I mean? Like that's reality. So you're going against that, and you just got to figure out the best way how to do it, so that way you can. I mean, and I learned this from sales is volume. You're gonna go and I'm gonna chase down head rush for the next 6 months, 8 months, bro. If you don't get a response in the very first couple interactions, you know what's going to happen? You're going to have to base it off of your performance. And when you go out there and you start
Yeah.
somebody, you knock somebody out,
Yeah.
right? And then that's how the calling card is there. That's my business card right there. Like, oh yeah, oh, you guys didn't want to mess with me before?
Now you do.
Bing! I just knocked this dude out completely
Yeah.
out. Now you guys want to mess with me or what?
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
If we all represent ourselves well, we practice what we preach, we're doing everything the right way, we get information from each other that's going to help each other out, move along this train ride a lot quicker, a lot faster, a lot easier. Like that's what it's all about, man. It's not about me holding information and being a gatekeeper and not being able to share that with somebody that potentially I know that it could help Lewis grow, it could help Carl grow, it could help you, Ryan. It could
Yeah.
do something different in your life,
Big time.
you know? And it's got to be that way. It's
Yeah.
got to be that way.
For sure.
Definitely a huge inspiration, man. Like you really are. I appreciate all that. Like,
Big time.
I try, man.
your wisdom
I
and
try.
shit with us.
So Ryan, you
Yes,
got
sir.
some good questions.
Well, I ask every podcast, and it's going to be a little off topic in a sense. If you had a dream matchup in Power Slap, anyone, it doesn't have to be someone rostered, could be a UFC fighter, a wrestler. If you had a dream matchup with anyone in the world, living or dead, who would it be?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Talk about
I love it.
a wrench in the system. If I had a dream match within Power Slap, let's just start there.
Okay.
Right.
It would definitely be against the Crazy Hawaiian.
Yeah.
Because he's been the forefront for a lot. Like when me and my brother got into this sport, he was the first contact. He is the original dude from the get go.
Yeah.
Right. Like going against the Crazy Hawaiian would be a privilege, would be an honor.
Big time.
Because I know he is that guy he's the OG that started it all, you know, like that's something that I would look forward to, you know, is having a match with there. Would it be fun to go Hawaiian versus Hawaiian? Probably not, but but at the end of the day, like that's my dream match, you know. It's like, wow, okay, me going against Crazy Hawaiian. That's within Power Slap.
Yeah.
UFC fighter wise, dude, and I would never transition. I would have to have him come into Power Slap, and we have to go by Power Slap rules, because if we were in UFC, he would demolish me. Is John Jones?
Oh, I like that. That would be an interesting one to see him like converted, because like we've got Luke Rockhold talking about coming over now.
Mm-hmm.
Be pretty fucking cool to see John Jones do that.
Yeah, that's for
John
sure.
Jones would be ridiculous. I mean he is literally the living goat. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
guy he demolishes people with elbows.
Yeah.
Like demolishes people with elbows. So I'm like, yeah, do I want to go to UFC and do that? Nah, brother. I'll stay in my lane, and you got to make your transition over here and come this way. You know what I mean?
A little
Yeah,
upper
man.
hand.
It would be completely different. Now, influencer wise,
Ooh.
I would have to go with like the typical answer is, you know what's gonna come already, you know? Logan Paul and
Oh.
Jake Paul.
I knew it. I knew it.
Yes, I love
Yeah.
it.
You're like the
And
third person to say that.
it's just there. It presents itself well, you know what I mean? It's like that's an ideal matchup. That I mean, he's already in the heavyweight division. I do not like how he did Tyson.
No,
You know, it's
Nah.
like it even though it might have been a gimmick, you know,
Yeah.
we don't know for sure, but I just don't like how he did Tyson. Tyson is a solid dude. He was, you know, and I mean a legend in what it is. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to avenge that for him.
I like it. I think we could actually see him come over at some point. I don't know. Try
Why?
maybe
No,
his
not
own.
after that broken jaw he has.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, he is. It's a very short-lived for him if he
Yeah.
comes over like that, you know?
That's for sure.
What, do you have any hopes for 2026 on like matchups for you wise? Like we know you want to go at the top. That's everyone's goal here, essentially. Like the selfish part of us all wants to get to the top.
I
We
think
know
I
you
think
don't
I
beat
think
people all the
I
time,
think
but
Lewis is ready for this one. My match that I'm always gonna call is West Mena. It's West Mena. You know,
clap.
and it's because we started off in the season, we built it up this way. We had those moments of there was a solid brotherhood. Like, hey man, look, this is what we're doing. We're all trying to help each other grow. We're all trying to get to the next level. And you know, and I can share it here now. You know that the way that I am is what is not liked, and that's why things are going south, because I'm the guy that will tell you exactly what you need to do to be successful in the sport and be
Yeah.
better at this. And people don't like that you give away secrets.
Yeah.
People like that you hold all the cards on your table. Hey man, don't share that with nobody. Keep it right here in this circle. And if you start giving away if you start giving away all your secrets, you start giving away all your sauce, these people are gonna pick up real quick, and then you know, you never know. These guys are gonna take you out. Right? Dude, I am not worried about that.
That's fair talking. That is fair.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not my concern, because at the end of the day, if as long as I stay consistent in what I'm doing, then I'm gonna be better.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter it's who it is, and it doesn't matter what information I give. You know what I mean? I know who I am. I know what I do. I know that I go out there and I train every single day. Trust me. I'm in the gym every single day.
Yep.
And if I'm not training at the gym, I'm training at home. You know, I'm not training at home, I'm training with a friend.
Yeah.
I'm always making my next step the best step. Next version. Boom. Okay. Now I've learned this. What can I do outside of learning these specific movements and this specific things? And what can I do that's different that nobody's doing? Okay. Boom.
Yeah.
Well, right now, right after this, I'll send you guys a link that you guys will like look at the video and you'll be like, damn, this guy is crazy. He's like, this is like just the mobility and the movement and everything else. You'd be like, man, this is what he does, you know, for like a lot of the training stuff. But trust me,
It works.
your power will increase, your accuracy will increase,
Awesome.
your speed will increase once you see what the training regimen looks like.
Yeah.
And then that's it, right? And it's like now you're gonna become better. And people like Wes, they don't want to see other people become bigger than them.
That's such
That's
yeah.
and
Yeah, you said
Selfish
it.
thing. There's such
People
a
don't want
new
to see people
sport.
get bigger than them. You know what I mean? And or be more inspirational or helping other people out. And it's something that they're not accustomed to. It's not something in their cup of tea.
Yeah.
Like it's just not part of it. So that's where, you know, me and Wes had a big falling out, man. It's more of like, hey, bro, like I don't care if I tell somebody how to defend or how to hit, because at the end of the day, once they go, even if it's in my weight division, at the end of the day, bro, you still got to have a dog in you.
Big
You
time.
still got to get up there. You still got to go. You get up there and face off, and things change.
Yeah.
Are you good? Are you a machine and you're gonna be mechanically perfect when you hit me? No, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're not. So just if you're not training, you're not practicing the way that you're gonna actually really do it out there, or you know, it's not gonna come true, and things are gonna happen that way. Or you're gonna have that opportunity that you are doing the right things and you do crack me. Well, guess what? Even in a loss, it's a learning lesson.
Absolutely.
Big time.
It's a learning lesson. I picked up a lot from going against Dorian. And I feel like, you know, dude, I was in my head over and over, time and time again, because I was like, man, I had an opportunity. I went against number one in the world. If I would have been able to accomplish that and get through that, I would be going against Damien DeBell. That's 100%. It's
Yeah.
just the way it is. But
Yeah.
then because of the loss, man, I came back home and it was a setback for me. I'm thinking, man, I just messed up an opportunity. And then I just told myself, hey, man, you know what? Get the hell out of your head, bro. Like you are in your head. You are in your emotions. You're in your feelings right now. We gotta tag out of that. We gotta get back into what it is. Like we have to understand why Dorian is the best defense there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
We gotta start figuring that out. Why is
By
he so
far.
good at defending the way he is? I need to start studying tape. I need to or watching video. I need to start paying attention to those things. So, you know, I was down on myself when I came out of that, but at the end of the day, I you know, I won that match because in my head, I went against number one in the division.
Yeah.
I was able to stand all 3 rounds with him, took every single hit. I
Yeah.
try to get to where the calls were made properly, where, you know, hitting in the eye or whatever, it may be a clubbing foul, whatever it is. And like everybody should be doing that when you go out on the stage, right? Is to
Yeah.
try if the coach, you don't have a real quality coach that's going to be there really trying to help you call those shots,
Yeah.
then guess what? You are a coach, bro. You got to call your shots too. You
Yeah.
can't just sit there and
Oh,
be quiet. You know what I mean?
For
Every
sure.
voice counts. So like that, I'm already trying to prepare for that, right? Okay, now when I go back out there, I've I've learned from my lesson. My lesson is that I can't do certain things. I can't stay one dimensional. And because here's a big part in my head right here. Because I've created my own style, I cannot think that my style is gonna work every single time.
No.
yeah.
I don't know.
Might work for 50%, 60%, but there's gonna be a bump in the road, if you will, where you're gonna learn new techniques, new ways. And that's
I
what you
mean,
gotta take from it, is how do you grow from that? How do you get better? How do you improve?
Right.
Can't let it break you down and beat you, because then it's just gonna go real far downhill from there.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
need
And
to
that's where
always know how to improve.
that's where I thought my failure was, is that, man, I hit him with that same lean on one for the first round, for the second round, for the third round. And if it didn't change by the second round of the way the impact was on his on Dorian, like the way that he receives it, I got to change something up.
Yeah.
Whether it be the timing, whether it be the drag back, whether it be on the actual, like, the change of whether it goes on 2, whether it goes on 3,
Yep.
I had to do some kind of change up. So now coming off of that match, you know, you live and you learn. You know, I see that and I'm like, okay, now I gotta make the improvements, and the real improvement overall is that you can perfect you can try to perfect your one style, the one that you use every single time because it works good with your mechanics.
Yeah.
But you should always have a general understanding of all swings,
Yeah.
Yeah.
of all movements, whether it be, because, you know, obviously now at this point we know that there's 4 entries in a slap, right? You can either go down with it, up with it, straight lined with it, or you have the Turpin lead with the elbow, snapping under and
Yeah.
turning like this, but leading with the elbow originally, so the snap hit. So
Yeah.
you know that there's only 4 real entries that you can have on a slap.
For sure.
Why aren't you perfecting every single entry? At least practicing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hey, big time.
Always, yeah.
But we've
Because
seen it.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Carl.
So we seen it in Saudi when we were there. The what, I can't think of his name. The guy from China who everyone was backing.
Oh yeah.
He had
Zhao.
this. Yeah, Zhao. That's his name. He had this crazy swing, and I mean, it was awesome. Everyone was really shocked by the power, but I mean, when he put that into practice the night of the fight, like, it was so different. And then I think what the biggest problem was, because he went in so confident with his own swing, and then when he got into the gym with the coaches and with all the other guys standing around, and they were like, "Hey, why don't you try this? Do this." And you keep moving your foot. You're doing all these different small little things wrong, and you're going to get picked up for fouling and all of this thing. I think it just threw him off. So when he got into the fight, it just all fell apart for him. And I think he was so afraid of doing what he was comfortable with that he was like, "Shit, now I have no idea what I'm doing."
He also went against the dog. That guy, that kid, the Kazakhstan kid.
The Kazakh kid?
He's not a real
Muhammad?
Training with him in the gym.
He's
a dog.
Yeah, big time.
So
That's
before
a scary kid for lightweight.
that match was actually the one that I was kind of like, looking forward to seeing, right? Because I like that he was bringing something completely different to the table.
Yeah.
Outside of your traditional like slap technique and everything else, he was bringing some kind of Chinese arts to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it makes sense, and trust and believe, it makes complete sense when you think about it, because they know how to internally lock themselves in here where the guy's 155 pounds, but he barely even moved when you hit him like that, right?
Yeah.
So like he has some kind of like initial chi that's forcing him to the ground, that's causing him not to move the way that his 155 body would allow him to really move.
Yeah.
So you're mastering certain parts that now think about it as a heavyweight striker or as any other weight class. Imagine if you mastered the same thing that he was mastering when he's grounded himself to the ground and being in that defensive position. Now you become a stronger striker because the way that you have adapted what he knows to put into your technique and your movement.
Yeah.
Makes you a more well-rounded striker.
Absolutely.
So like practicing different styles and techniques of slaps, you have to practice different types of training techniques and everything else.
Yeah.
The one fall that I feel like was there. One, yes, he's getting all this information piled into his head about how he should stand, when he should move his feet, why he's pivoting, why he's not pivoting.
Yeah.
It does play a big factor because he's so used to he's mastered that style, that technique.
Yeah.
So he's used to throwing it the way that he likes to throw it. When people start telling him how he should throw it opposed to what he's already doing, it will mess with your mind a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like, I mean,
But
he had cameras around him. He had like social media teams. He had his interpreter. He had the coaches. Then he had a couple of guys who have obviously been there quite a while who were like, "No, do this," and then that's going through the interpreter. I'm sure the message was somewhat lost in translation.
Yeah.
Not
It was
entirely.
because when he was throwing that slap that he was so used to, his accuracy, his power was there. Power was crazy, but the accuracy was awful.
Yeah, he was
clubbing
the shit out of the dummies. So they were like, "No, dude, you gotta kind of bring it back a bit." And yeah, the poor dude, I think he just went in, his mind was boggled, and he was like, "I don't know how to put this all into practice this short amount of time." So
Yeah.
I think that's it bad for him. But I think he probably went back to the drawing board once he got home. We met him in the airport on the way back, and he looked a little bit broken because he was like, "Shit, I came all the way here with all this backing, and it didn't go my way." But I'm sure he went back and he's probably nailed it down. So I'm looking forward to seeing him come back. And I fear the next guy that's going in against him, because I feel like he's going to come back with a vengeance.
Yeah, true. I really believe that his style, because obviously I'm sitting there watching videos, watching tapes, watching how his style, like his actual like train, where he actually coming from, right?
Yeah.
And I believe that his style translate up and down does not translate left to right or right to left.
No, not at all.
Because it's his whipping fist
Yeah.
is where he puts a lot of that blood flow into his hand and drives straight down into a target. Boom.
Exactly.
Boom. Boom. And I don't see that being this way.
Yeah.
It doesn't translate well this way. Because
No.
if you watch when he hit Muhammad, he came in and it's a whipping fist, but it's at the last second and it hits here, boom, and it doesn't do anything. The energy is displaced in his face, but it's not going through him.
Yeah.
It's into his face, but it's not through him. And with this sport, we need to go through the target.
It's like I only watched Kickboxer here the other night with Jean-Claude Van Damme, and you know that scene where he like hits the brick, sends the power down, and it hits the bottom brick and shatters it. That's I mean, he's used to hitting something solid and it's not going to move, but the power goes downwards right into the bottom of it. And like I said, it just doesn't translate from right to left or left to right, whichever way you want to do it.
Yeah. And in this this sport, it's you know, it takes two to tango.
It does.
So you've got somebody that has a real good solid defense that he whatever the way he reacts or the way he's taking the hit is going to make all the difference of where when you displace and you push, boom, and you hit. It takes two people to kind of make this a solid, beautiful transitional hit. You know, it's not just you yourself. You can throw that nice solid hit, but if he's got that defensive technique down to where, you know, he's bowing his chin down, he's got his head either slightly tilted forward or straight up, you're not going to get the same reaction that you're going to get when you're hitting all these other different types of targets and all the other stuff that he's trying to do, breaking a brick and everything else. I mean, it's cool for the TV, but at the end of the day, I know that's not what you're training. I know that's not how you train. You don't just go over there and start breaking bricks with your hand. That's your training technique to what this is.
Yeah.
Nah, it's the consistency. What do you do? All that driving that he was doing on that table, like, that right there is where I would tell him, hey man, look, whatever you were doing to translate into that there, that's what we need to see going into the target when you're standing in front of the target.
For sure. I mean,
we need to see that more than we see all the other like showcase stuff because
look, I bring it back to boxing. I mean, you can go to a gym, you can punch a punch bag all day long. You can say, oh great, I've got so much power hitting this bag. But that's why you still spar. You get in there and you got to see what it's like to get hit and hit back. And, you know, things change when you're in front of somebody who's trying to hurt you. So, you know.
Facts. And Muhammad is trust me, he's going to be a force in that 155.
I think so.
Because he definitely knows how to do weight transfer and he knows how it translates properly. I've seen him take out somebody that's in a heavier division.
Yeah, I've seen that as well.
Still being a smaller dude and not just make him, you know, fall and he stumbles, get back up. No, this guy was out cold. They drug him off the stage, and he's still in he's still in the backside of the stage. Just come on, bro. Look at Zhao. Look at Zhao after that. Yeah, look at Zhao after that third hit with the left hand.
Yeah, like that's the thing. And and Muhammad is a boxer, so like you said, he knows all the weight transfers. Well, like he showed us one of his fights while we were out in Saudi, and I mean, I don't know actually I found the fight online, and I showed the guys, and I was like, look at his face. He actually looks physically worried for the dude he just knocked out. Like I think everyone was like, oh shit, this is pretty serious. So
it's real.
People that weren't sleeping on him in Saudi.
Yeah,
everyone else was like, "Oh no, the other guy's gonna kill him," and I was like, "No." Like we were holding Muhammad and showing him just how to keep feet planted more because he was lifting and twisting a bit. And we're like, "No, you'll get disqualified, man." Like showed him different ways. And we started holding the pads for him, and I was like, "This guy's a problem." Like I think this is the most interesting fight of the night. Just because one guy breaks bricks, but how does that translate to face? And also, how do you take a shot? Bricks don't punch back; they're slap back. Whereas we had the other kid who has had experience in taking shots, and we've seen him destroy people.
Yeah,
He just needs a couple little tweaks where it's power slap looks more at some of the rules opposed to where he was before. Keep his feet planted, and he showed it. Like he hurt his right hand and still did the finish. Like he was an impressive kid, and I think we were the only 3 that did not sleep on him the whole week.
No, I mean, I was in the gym almost every day. Well, not in the gym, it was more so the sauna. But I mean, every time I walked past the hotel gym, he was in there day in, day out. There was not a day he took off. No, like, and he was on weight. He was ready to go, but he spent every day on the treadmill, ready to go. He was lifting weights. He was practicing his technique. So he was zoned in and showed. He took his head off.
He didn't have the cameras around him, distracting him, slowing him down. He was focused. He was there.
Big time. Him and Danny, his buddy that was from Kazakhstan as well. Like,
another beast.
Two dangerous guys in the division, I think.
I agree. And I feel like he will be the force that will, give Robert a good run for his money. You know what I mean? Because Robert is he's very strong for his weight class. This guy can lift double the size of it himself.
Yeah.
And I just feel like he would at least give him a good run.
I have a feeling this year may be the year of the Europeans. I think there's going to be a lot of upsets because we see it with like the lower divisions, like the guys coming in from Eastern Europe and stuff. Some of them guys are some pretty vicious dudes. So I think it's going to be a fun year to see all these guys come in and, nobody know them or not take them seriously enough. And, I think it's...
Yeah. Gators another one.
Gator is terrifying.
And he's already previously had some slap experience, right?
He fought with Eddie Hall's. Yeah, he was. He knows what he's doing.
Fought at SFC in Dubai.
SFC as well, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Right. So he's already kind of got that a little bit under his belt, right? Is that he understands that how the mechanics of things working. When they start to bring in newer people that don't have that kind of mechanics yet dialed in, it's going to be harder, and it's obviously like Ryan, I know you probably slapped people in your lifetime before being on Power Slap, right? But the wrestling, that was the question, right? It was like, was the wrestling background going to, obviously entertainment wise it was, but was it going to translate going into the actual slap technique?
Yeah.
And like how would that work, right? Like being a wrestler, kind of going through choreography and going through all the stuff, and be physically fit for it. Was it gonna work out that way? And lo and behold, man, when I watched your Johnny Magna fight,
both of them,
dude, your defensive technique, and people, I know people will dog me for that. Be like, bro, there's no defense technique. There's just you standing out there and you taking a hit. But whatever you were doing out there defensively made you one strong, solid unit.
Yeah.
Like you were not being knocked down.
Yeah.
So that just shows me that you put time into that. You put time into, really getting your stance right, using all the equipment that you have. You got a baton, you've got the podium, you've got all these little things working for you, right? How do I make it work the way I need to for somebody? And it's not like Johnny has a soft hit either.
No,
the guy has a solid wind up. Right? He has a solid wind up. I've seen him, and he's constantly practicing. He's constantly training and how to get better and doing everything else. So, like when you have people that are being more dedicated to the craft and really, really like diving into what needs to be fine tuned and how to get into that moment where, yeah, man, when I deliver a hit, it's devastating. People do not stand after I throw a hit like that. And it's like, when you confidently can say that and that that's what it is, yeah, man, you're gonna go out there and you're gonna demolish people.
That's for sure. Yeah, big time.
And every day it's in the gym, constantly trying to grow something. Like you were saying earlier, you gotta work. It's like, well, that's what we do. We send messages back and forth between each other, video clips. I'm like, what do you guys see that maybe could help? And Lewis will help change things around, try something new. Maybe it didn't work for you. That's okay. Maybe your body doesn't move that way, work that way. It's fine. Just
Correct.
find another way to get it. And I sent them the video. I think it was like, let's say,
2 days ago?
I sent it like Monday,
Yeah.
one video, and then Tuesday I sent another. I was like, boys, I just found something else that I swear it added 10 to 20% more power than what I already had. And they're like, they watch the video, like, holy shit, that actually looks a lot better. Yeah.
It's because it's such a simple sport. It's only these tiny little tweaks we can make body mechanics wise. Yeah. You've got to find every edge you can get.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's all about using every bit of your body to go through, like whip it, like.
And that's why I thought that Zhao, I mean, maybe if he wasn't going against a beast like Muhammad, right?
Yeah.
That's where I thought Zhao was going to have an advantage, is because he knows the eternal turn, tweak, and movement, that flow of where he can get the weight transfer right. Boom, boom, boom. And I thought that was gonna be a deciding factor in this thing. And lo and behold, that certain things just don't translate the right way, whether it be your mechanics, whether it be, it's not gonna work for everybody. That's why I'm not, when I start talking to other people about like the technique, I really don't just like, oh, if you're not doing this, you're not doing it right. If you're not doing that, you're not doing it right. Because reality is that the movement is not going to work for you if it doesn't make sense to your body mechanics.
Yeah.
Right. We're all different. And the reason why it works so good to me is because I've found that fine-tuned position, like, oh yeah, okay, I feel comfortable here. I know that I'm not overexerting myself in the hit. I'm not trying to overextend at any point in time. So I feel what we call the rhythm and the timing of, oh yeah, that feels perfect. Now when I throw the hit, now we just got to practice on various targets. Do not stick to just one target, bro. They're gonna give you the bob. Yeah, great. It's awesome. It's good for targeting. You got a head that you can aim at. Yeah, perfect.
It's good for
but you should be training with various targets. I train with a 25, 30-pound teardrop bag. And I try to have it so there's no,
it's water, isn't it?
No. So it's a regular teardrop. Yeah, regular teardrop bag stuffed with the cottons and all the other stuff that originally it's stuffed with. But so I have. Okay, here we go. Let's start leaking. So I have 4 different targets that I practice on. Right. So a speed bag. Yep. The uppercut bag. So if you see like the Muay Thai, the uppercut bag there, that's a perfect one because it's stationary. It's bolted to the wall. It's not going to move. It's not going to shift. So it really shows like somebody like that's in a solid, tight defense. If I can crack through that, then I can crack through a lot of the targets. Then you need a movable target. So the 25, 30-pound teardrop Muay Thai bag.
Yep.
If you can crack through that, boom, and send that thing flying, right, where it's just swinging like crazy, then you know that you can put force behind the powered hit, boom, and shove through it. I use the water bag for actually desensitizing my hand.
Okay.
So I'll hit that thing. I'll do uppercuts on it to just desensitize the hand, and this is before I'm actually hitting the other targets.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that way I'm not worried about injury. I'm not worried about, oh man, when I hit, my hand's numb at that point when I hit the target bag.
You get anything up.
Yeah, and then the speed bag, I use that to learn the follow through technique.
Yes.
It's not to where I get to the bag and I get here. It's the part where I go here and I pull down and then drag all the way across.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
So when you look at the slap, right? Everybody, is going to look at it just in a general sense, right? That's the slap, that's the movement. If you gave it to a newbie, that's what he would look at. He'd be like, "Oh, wow, okay, it's just that one swing." No. You break it down
bit by bit.
Beginning, your middle, and your end.
Yeah.
And and now all the techniques that you do, you strengthen those parts. So I want to strengthen the part where I resistance band my hand and I get this pullback.
Yeah.
Boom. Overall, when you hit the target, I want to have a resistance band that I can hold tension, time under tension, and get to this part where I get here.
Yeah.
Yep.
And all I do is I pull on that band to cause the hand to drag in. Bang,
Gotcha.
bang. So from this short window here, I can create and get extra percentage of power just from boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom,
Yeah.
just in this one section. And then you work on the stuff that you can follow through. You break all this down. And I don't want, when I tell everybody, is that I don't want you to do this where it's the recoil, because everybody does the recoil. Everybody goes boom here, and then they stop themselves here, and they
Yeah.
pull back, or they'll try to
Follow.
stand straight. No, bro. Your job is to follow through the target, follow all the way through the target.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Get here. As soon as you make connection, boom, I should see your back.
Yeah.
I should see all that lat, all that extension, all through, because that hand should be at the holster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be at the gun right
Yeah.
here. Boom, all the
Awesome.
way across, bam, all the way across the target. Eyesight is everything. So like when you're lining up with the target and you're looking at them, once you're fixed target and you got it on the chin, you got it on the lip, you got it on the nose, wherever that fixed target is that you're looking for, depending on what your aim, obviously you're striking your aim. Once you're fixated on that target, your eye should not leave that target. I should
No.
not see any of this
I hate
Yeah.
that.
or this on the wind up. Why are you looking back there?
There was a couple
There's-
people in Saudi doing it in like the training room, and
Mhm.
it was the coach time or whatever, but the coaches were busy. And I walked up to one of the ones making his debut. I was like, "Can you try doing that where you're looking at it the whole time?" Because like he
Mhm.
was hitting the bob, and every time he swung, he'd look away, and it would go up here, down here, like it was not accurate. So I just
Yeah.
got him to look here. I was like, "Just focus right here. Try
Yeah.
that and see what happens." And then he did it, and boom, right on target. And I
Yeah.
was like,
Mhm.
"Try it again." Did it again, boom, right on target. I was like, "Work on that a little bit through today, but you should focus not taking your eyes off the target, because now you're trying to find it when you look away, and you don't have that time to do that. You're in the motion. You don't want to have extra work where you got to look for your chin again. Oh shit, there it is."
Right.
You be
And
focused.
I don't know if you guys already do this, and this is I mean it was a nugget for me once I started to like learn it. Is you work on guidelines, bro. You work on a line, right? So like, dude, I wonder if I have it right here or on me right here. But your resistance bands.
Yeah.
If
Yep.
you set up the resistance band, that's your line. You, where everybody fails is that they get this real winding hit, and it's not in the same alignment from where you start to
Yeah.
where you finish. You need to use guidelines. Everybody needs to use guidelines, bro. And that, I mean, it just makes it easier on yourself. When I have that resistance band in my hand and I'm holding it here, and it creates this, pull that resistance band back here, it creates this straight line. I have a line that I'm looking at,
Yep.
and that is where my trajectory goes. Boom. Is aligned with the line, especially if you have a resistance band where you can pull, then
Yeah.
you can use it to where you get the powerful snap, where you make that drawback. Boom. And as long as you're using lines, whether it be on the floor, whether
Yeah.
it be in your hand, right? Just kind of giving you the parts, right? You draw lines on the floor, you draw lines in the air. That's the line that I gotta come through, bang, and I gotta hit that line every single time.
Yeah.
And so that when you start doing stuff like that, that's going to increase your accuracy. It's going to increase your just the trajectory of where you're landing that flap every single time. You know,
Yeah.
it's going to be beneficial to you in the long run. So I practice with a resistance band on majority of the hits. Like a lot of the videos you see that I do for Instagram is those are just me going through the full swings, me
Yeah.
going through the motions and movements. But everything that's not recorded, I have a guideline.
Yeah.
I have lines. I set up lines. I hold a resistance band up to the bag. I hold the bag like that, and I got the resistance band tucked in between my thumb, and I'm using a guideline to hold that line. And I make sure that when I leave it, I make sure I return back to the same area every single time.
Nice.
I
That's a
train
different
my
story.
brain to start thinking on straight lines on any movement. And then once you get really used to how the movement is with your body and how you start feeling it, then the ways that you slap. Oh, if I'm a guy that comes in and I slap in an upwards angle, well, guess what? When I draw back and I have that line, my hand here should be even with this hand here, even though it's in this angle.
Yeah.
Same thing on the downward swing in this angle. It should be right in alignment going down like this, right in alignment going like this. There's no, I throw this hand down first and then it comes over and it swings down.
Yeah.
It just stays with the hand. The stick doesn't leave my hand. It's from this hand to this hand. It stays in the same position. Doesn't matter where I swing it.
I'll say I
And then you
use a
learn.
stick like that too. Nice, like
Big time.
4-foot or foot stick, just for like my twist and make sure your arm's in the same spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the stick is key too because everybody has their style. It's a lot of people focus on what this hand does.
Yeah.
With this one.
Why don't you focus on what this hand does?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because this hand is what you would consider your counterweight
Yeah.
to everything it's going. You want to do something different. Well, think about it if you were hitting a speed bag. When I want to double up on the speed bag, I go bra bra.
Yeah.
Bra bra. Right? Same thing with the throw. When I swing back here, I want this hand to be para.
Yeah.
Bang. Bang.
Yeah.
Right? I want to hit him with the back fist, and then I want to come over and bam, hit him with that winding right.
Yeah.
Big time.
But when you throw that hit, that's how that should be happening. That should be happening. It should be bam, throw this one forward, and wow.
I feel like you've been in my gym because we train the exact same. Everything, everything in the last 20 minutes has been the exact same. So we're doing something right.
Yeah, that's it.
I do most of the stuff you said. So good to know I'm on a good path too.
Yeah, and that's just going to help with you, wherever you feel like you're lacking. If it's and you can, and now when you have a good understanding of it, you can break everything down, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm lacking in the power and how the power works. Well, we need more resistance band work. We need more of that heavy explosion and the pull through.
Yeah, I think resistance bands are underrated, definitely.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, for sure.
Everything's from my neck to how I'm swinging everything.
Yeah, and people, it's more of like, I was in a phase like that for a little while. Does it look cool on camera?
Yeah.
Does it look cool on camera when I'm doing all this stuff? You know what I mean? It's like, then you just like, bro, it's not for what it looks like and how it's for how it's gonna benefit you with your swing, with the way you move, the way everything. Like, it just makes more sense. Like, only so much things can look good on camera.
Yeah.
But the real work doesn't look pretty.
Because they focus about looking good on camera on stage.
Correct.
That's where you want to look good. You look behind.
Look at all it pads.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, shit, we've had you here the longest we've ever had someone, and we appreciate
it's the longest episode we've ever done.
It's been insightful and inspirational. This is a very good podcast. I enjoyed this very much.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed this.
Sure.
We need to start doing longer podcasts from now on.
It could be used, like Sin Bodhi could have talked for 5 days, I think.
Yeah. Him and his pig and his goat and his chickens and
Yeah,
that was wild.
The farm. He brought the farm to it. Yeah.
Well, absolutely. He did. But we appreciate you coming. I got some kids I'm gonna have to worry about feeding now.
That's right.
Thank you so much for coming, Pono. It's been a true honor, and I appreciate everything you've shared with us and the inspiration.
Absolute
You're gonna
blast.
affect people to watch this now. You've
Big
just
time.
reached out to another avenue.
Yeah, and I appreciate you guys for having me. You know what I mean? Reaching out and giving me an opportunity to get on the podcast and really just share some light and share some knowledge as much as I can. And dude, I'm always, like I said, I never change it up. I'm always open to, you need to call me. You got a question? Ask me. because that's all I'm here for. I'm here to better myself, better everybody that's within this sport, everybody that's within this world. You know what I mean? We just gotta start helping each other and working with each other, so that way we become the best versions of ourselves.
Big time, dude. Big time. And look, hey, hopefully they make a Hawaii card and we can all get out there and catch up with you in real life.
Oh yeah, enjoy some hula, some luau, yeah, some
Big
pigs
time.
in the ground.
Absolutely.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, I love
I'd like
it.
to see Lewis in a grass skirt.
Yeah.
That's right.
It could be arranged for the right money.
That's right.
Okay, guys. Well, I appreciate you.
No, thank you for
nice one.
coming.
Enjoyed this.
All right, fellas.
Have
Thanks,
a good
Jesse.
night, sir.